Hi everyone. Okay, so today's video is going to be another Let's Talk video. If you haven't seen my previous one, then I'll have it linked in the description box below. That was all about kind of the YouTube community. This one, however, is going to be a lot different, and this is actually the first video that I wrote down that I wanted to do in this series. It was the one that kind of, I suppose, made me start this series, because it's something that I've wanted to talk about for a while on my channel. Like, I mean a while, like years on my channel. But I've just never really known how to do a video like this, really, I suppose, like, except for just having a chat and telling you about what it's like living with anxiety, and that is what I'm going to talk about. And to be honest, like, this video isn't to give advice. It isn't really me being like, this is what I do, this is what I do, this is what I do. It's basically kind of just going to be my story, and I hope that people can relate to this. This is why I'm making it, and to kind of show you that I've kind of almost reached the other side and I haven't got rid of my anxiety. It's still there, obviously I'm living with it, but how I've nearly conquered it, really. So this is basically going to be my story. I haven't really told many people in my actual life this story, so this is very scary. But I've literally just sat down and thought, I'm going to film this today, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to be brave. So carry on watching if you want to find out more. Okay, so I think, like, roughly, if I think back, I kind of started to suffer from anxiety from the age of about 10 or 11. Now, anxiety is like such a broad kind of word. There are so many different types of anxiety and on so many different levels. Luckily, my anxiety now is like extremely mild, like really it's good. It's at a good stage, but before it was quite bad when I was younger. But yeah, I would say now my anxiety is quite mild. However, yeah, I'll kind of start from the beginning and start of what type of anxiety I suffer with, and I will go from there. So yeah, so from the age of like 10 or 11, I started to notice that I would start to kind of do things. Now, saying this, what I mean now, I think I know I had this, and I never actually went to the doctors to get diagnosed or anything, and I know I should have done, and looking back now, like, I really should have gone to the doctors, but I didn't. But I kind of almost self-diagnosed myself with OCD, which, if you don't know, is obsessive compulsive disorder. Now, I knew I had this. I googled it, and I was like, every single thing that was like connected with OCD I was experiencing. So I was just like, oh my god, like, I have this. Now imagine me being like 11, 12 years old probably at this point, and I was actually terrified. Like, I was so scared. I didn't tell anyone. Like, I actually did not tell a single person that I was suffering with this. Now, I would do things like, I would have like little routines that I would have to do. Now, some people might just say, oh, well, you were just like a little bit obsessed, you know, and people go, oh yeah, it's a bit OCD about that. But like, it wasn't, it was so much more than that. Like, every single day, and in almost everything that I did, there was some sort of thing that I had to do. For example, if I was getting ready, it would take me such a long time because I would have to do these certain things, you know, whether it be in the shower, when I was doing my makeup, when I was straightening my hair, like, everything that I was doing, I had to do something extra. I had to make sure I did that one particular thing. And also, a lot of things connected with OCD is like numbers and stuff, and I would have to count to a certain number while I was doing something, like when I was washing my hair, for example. And this carried on for a while, like it got a lot worse. I don't know the cause of this, like I don't know why I suddenly, you know, inherited this part of me, but I kept living with it, and as it was starting to get worse, and I was just like, yeah, I was just doing all these things, and it would just annoy me so much, because I would just think like, why do I have to do these things, like why? This is not normal. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest, I thought I was going crazy, like, because I was just like, why am I doing these things that like I don't need to do, like, and like I'm just looking at my friends and be like, they don't do these things, why am I doing these things, like what am I doing wrong, what can I do to stop it? And it was just, it would annoy me more than anything, because I would just be like, this is taking me like so much time out of my day, that I would have to do these certain things, like routines, and it's just like so many things. As I said, you know, I did have a look online, and I was like, this is literally what I have, like every single little detail on there was like, oh my gosh, I had this. Now OCD in children is actually slightly different to OCD in adults. So I have since done a bit more research, and yeah, it's a little bit different, and children can actually grow out of having OCD, which thank God I have. Like, I'm 20 now, and like I do the odd little thing, but like literally compared to what I used to be, like, oh my gosh, like I am, well, I'd say, you know, it's almost gone pretty much, you know. I wouldn't say I'm living with OCD now whatsoever, like I don't think I have it anymore, thank God. It doesn't mean to say I don't have anxiety, but I'll explain that in a second. So yeah, I was living with this. I would never let people kind of see what I was doing, if that makes sense. So I would never want people to know what I was doing, like even though it would take me an extra half an hour of my day to get ready, I would never kind of, I don't know, show that, if that makes sense. I literally didn't want anyone knowing. But in my head, I was like, I feel like I need to tell someone, because I thought I was literally going crazy. And I remember speaking to my parents about it, and I was petrified, and I mean petrified, to speak to my parents about this. And I just remember them saying like nothing against my parents, but I just remember them saying, oh, like, don't be so stupid, like, you just got, you know, all of us have things that we have to do. And I'm like, yeah, but like I couldn't, for some reason I couldn't get it across that I was living with this, and like almost everything I did included me doing something extra, and I couldn't seem to kind of vocalize that. I don't know what it was. I couldn't tell anyone the actual what I was living with and what I was going through every single day. Now, it didn't I say this like, oh my god, it was just this massive thing. Like, it kind of was, I suppose, but then like I just sort of learned to live with it, really. And I literally didn't, after that I didn't tell anyone else, like my friends, no one, like literally no one, and to this day I haven't really told anyone. And you know, obviously I still had a great time. It wasn't like I wasn't living my life. I was completely living my life. I just had these extra things I would have to do, and it wasn't just that. Obviously it takes a toll on your like actual mental health. Like, it would almost drive me crazy sometimes, because I would just be like, I would get so frustrated, like why do I have to do this? Like, I would think to myself, this is stupid, like why do I have to do this certain thing, like put this in a certain place every single day at this certain time. Like, it would just annoy me so much. And I think as I just kind of got older, it just seemed to, I suppose I got used to it more, and I started to do things quicker. But then I suppose I almost started to kind of get over it. I don't really know. Like, I think you're always probably going to have that like underlying bit of anxiety there, but yeah, it just seemed to get easier, and it seemed to get better. I would start to think to myself, I don't need to do that, like stop it, I don't need to do that, and it worked, and I just kind of stopped. And I would say about the age of like maybe 16, 17, I was like, okay, this isn't enough is enough now. And I feel like I did, at that point, had kind of grown out of it, thank God. And I said, now I'm 20 and like, I don't really have like any really sort of OCD, which is brilliant. And, you know, I'm very thankful that I did actually grow out with it, but some people don't. And I really, from the bottom of my heart, sympathise, because I completely understand and I completely know what it's like, and it's horrible. And I would say, if you are watching this and you're like, I think this is what I have, or you know, you're maybe a bit younger and thinking this is what I have, please, like, I think the most important step is actually telling someone, and try and explain as much as you possibly can in detail, because looking back now, I probably should have gone to the doctors. I probably should have gone to get diagnosed with this OCD. But, you know, I suppose I did just live with it, and I did manage to get over it. But yeah, if I was to say anything, I would say please just tell someone, because it's really important. And I feel like now in 2018 we're a world that understands mental health a bit better, and I feel like maybe because it wasn't talked about very much and I didn't really know exactly what it was, that's what I was so scared of, and I was so scared to tell someone about it. And I actually think that probably was it, like, because it wasn't talked about. But now I feel like it is, and you can tell people, like, I am making this video to go on the internet. Do you know what I mean? Like, for me, this is actually a big step, because I it was, my close friends don't know. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so that is when I would say I started having a type of anxiety. Now, obviously I still do have anxiety, but in a different kind of way. You know, I have actually had 2 panic attacks in my life, more in recent years. I've had 2 panic attacks. I am an anxious person a lot of the time. I stress a lot, I panic a lot, and that's kind of my anxiety at the moment, not so much the OCD side. So the kind of first part of my anxiety was OCD when I was younger, and now since I've got older, it's kind of just been like just a more general kind of anxiety, more sort of, yeah, just like everyday little things. You know, I think everyone really suffers with anxiety, but just to different kind of extents. But my anxiety, yes, has been in more recent years worse at certain times. You know, there's some parts of my life in the last few years which have been horrendous, and I suppose the anxiety has got worse, and then it's kind of got better in better parts of my life recently. Like at the moment, I would say I am doing really, really well, and I am actually quite on top of my anxiety, I would say. Of course, there are days where it's quite bad, but at the moment, I'm actually doing quite well. But yeah, like, you know, you can wake up and feel awful about yourself, and I think that is sometimes mostly to do with my anxiety. And I feel like if I'd said that a few years ago, people would have been like, oh, get over yourself, do you know what I mean? But now I feel like it is more accepted to be like, yeah, people do really suffer with anxiety, and it is a part of my life. But luckily it's not a massive part of my life anymore, and you know, I don't normally talk about it because I just think actually I'm doing well. Especially, I would say, within the last year, I've done well with my anxiety, and I suppose I don't really need to talk about it because it's not as bad as it was. As I said, my OCD isn't as bad as it was. It's barely there. And yeah, but honestly, I would say speak out. Please speak out, because I didn't, and I do really, 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 really regret it. And even though, you know, I have come out the other side, and I've probably come out the other side better than I ever was before, you know, like, I can't really explain how I even get anxious these days. It's just like over little things, or, you know, as I said, I am a very stressy person. and I overthink a lot, so I think that is part of the problem nowadays. But you know, nowhere is near as bad as it was, and you know, yeah, like I sometimes have to deal with anxiety now, but sometimes I don't, and you know, today I'm fine, absolutely fine. But sometimes it might just kind of hit you in the face a little bit. But yeah, for now I'm actually doing well, and yeah, that's kind of, I suppose, where I'm at the moment, really. I would probably recommend maybe if you're in school, especially, like my school didn't have any sort of like counselling or anything like that, so I felt like I couldn't even talk to anyone in school about it. But maybe go and speak to a teacher who you trust. Like, I feel like trust is a massive thing. You need to trust someone to be able to tell them this. I know that's how I would have felt. But yeah, as I said, I can't really give you advice, but you know, hopefully from my story you can kind of see that I have come out the other side, and that I have been able to overcome this massive part. It was a massive part of my life. And yeah, as I said, I reached the age of about 16, 17, and you know, luckily I've kind of conquered it. As I said, now I suffer with a different type of anxiety. But you know, luckily, so luckily, I've never been like depressed or anything like that. I think I'm always quite a positive person, and yeah, you know, I just suffer a little bit with anxiety now, but nothing major at the moment, thank God. And yeah, but honestly, I really do think most of the population suffer with anxiety, so do not feel like you are alone, because honestly, there are so many people, like most people I talk to suffer with anxiety. So yeah, you're not alone. I love you all lots. If you do want to ask me any questions about what I've spoken about in this video, then please do not hesitate to contact me. My email address is actually in the description box below. If you want to kind of speak to me privately, then that is absolutely fine. You're more than welcome to email me or leave me a comment in the comment section below. I kind of wanted to give this kind of brief overview of what my life has been like living with anxiety, but as I said, at the moment I'm doing really well, and you can do it. I promise you. Just the main step is actually talking to someone about it. So please talk to someone if you are suffering, and know that I'm always here to talk as well if you want to. So yes, I'm wishing you all the best of luck if you are kind of going on this journey. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. You know, it's taken me quite a lot to be able to actually sit down and make this video and not cry and not be emotional about this. I'm having a good day, so I think that's probably why. As I said, please leave me a comment if you can, or you know, message me privately or anything. And also don't forget to subscribe to my channel, especially if you're liking these Let's Talk series. I have a lot more coming up in the next few months, so I hope you enjoy those. And yeah, I hope you're all doing well. Lots and lots of love, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.